How are we all doing today? It's Friday and yeah, it's time for another little project. I hope you've had a great week and are ready to make a little something with me. I have a little Friday freebie for you. Yes, I don't normally do that on Friday, but today we can thank the lovely Debbie, who was the inspiration behind me putting together not only today's project, thank you Debbie, but also the freebie. So we've sort of had an idea, we had a little chat about it, and I've just combined the two, so here we are. Right, so we are going to make a little file folder goodie. Now Debbie had an idea that she actually got from the lovely lady from Victoria Designs a good couple of years ago. I haven't seen the video, but I have taken the tab idea from that to make what I'm going to make today. So Victoria Designs was making the journal card backings that you use in your journal, and I thought it would be a good idea after Debbie mentioned that we should do something to do with the rainbow bridge and our pets. So I have done that. I'm going to show that to you quickly, the freebie, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with it. But brace yourself, because Debbie and I would recommend that you grab a tissue because it's quite sad. Now, I'm not going to read the whole poem out to you. I'll let you do that because it's a freebie, but when you do read it, grab a tissue, you're going to need it. All right, so right, I have just cut it up and got it ready for today's project. This is just my own tag and goodie from my kits, but this is what I'm going to give you today. And I have done this in two sizes. What it is a poem from your pet to you as their mum, and it's a whole little bit about they still being with you and how we miss them when they've passed over the rainbow bridge. I'm trying to pull it together, yeah, pull it together, hold it together. All right, so I'm not going to read it because then I will be in tears, but yeah, it's from me to you. I've got it the same poem in with two different designs that I've created. All right, so with the rainbow and the bridge and everything, and I've backed these onto hard card here so that you can use them to put behind your journal pages when you're writing on the front of the journal page, which just gives it some rigidity. Okay, but we're also going to use them to pop into the folder that we are going to create today. I have just, as I said, backed them onto card, put on some little eyelets for some pretties, and then this is a different size. Okay, so this I've just backed onto normal paper, and you can use it if you wanted to. It's up to you. A lot of people can't always make the different sizes, hence I've done both. Okay, so it's just a 2-sheeter, and really it's simple enough. Here is the one size and here is the other. Okay, so that's all it is really. You can just put that onto your printer, open it up. It's a PDF or a JPEG. You can just press on there, or when you're doing the sizing, just say fit to page, and there you go. Okay, so that's what I have for you. You can get this in my website shop under new this month or freebies. Those tabs at the top there, that's where you will find it. All right, guys, so that's what we've done there. I hope you enjoy using it in your journal. Right, now what I'm going to do is take you through what Debbie had shown me, and I've put my own spin on this completely, but I love the idea, and yeah, I hope you do too. Now we are going to make this as something that's going to be an insert in between our two signatures in our journal. I'm going to use the elastic to attach it. I find that quite easy. You don't have to. You can sew it in like your signatures, but this is going to be in between the two. All right, and we'll get to that at the end. All right, if I've got time, I will fit the little flip through bit of the finished product now, hopefully. So if you see it, you're seeing it. Here it is. All right, so let's have a look at what I've made today, and then we're going to make one together. So here's the finished item. Here's the front. This is like a little folder with a nice little closure. I've used a magnet for this, but you can use a Velcro spots. All right, all that's on my Amazon favorite tools. So here's the front. I've just put a little pocket here with the lovely lady with her pet. Okay, and then just some paws, because this is like a memorial thing really, or also to keep your photographs, any bits at all, like from your vet card or your can't think what the other thing is called when you're breeding them, you know, their heritage papers, which name has just gone out of my head. Right, so here we go. So we open it up like this, and there we have our freebie that I've got in the larger size with the poem. Tissues required. That sits in there. You don't have to have it in here, of course. Here is, I've just used this from a previous freebie, I think. Was this a previous freebie? And I like photographs of your pets. You might want to add some of those in there. Oh, the breeding papers, that's what I was trying to think of. And then I've got these 2 pockets that we're going to make in there. And that's what we're going to keep, whatever you want to keep document-wise in there of your pet. This is great with this card to use as a backing card. All right, you close that up. We do that. And on the back, I've just added these little bits like that. All right. So that's all we've done. Now, when we put this into our journal, I'm going to use the elastic, as I said. But of course, you could sew it in. I'll put it through there and slide it into the elastic, and then it'll keep it in between the signatures, just like that. All right, so shall we make a start? Okay, so there we go. What you need is a piece of card. Here I've got craft board. It's probably 200 GSM, or about, what is that? That's about 80 pound weight, thereabouts. Okay. We are going to put paper either side of it, so it doesn't have to be overly thick. But yeah, you can use a US letter size or an A4. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so all you need to do is fold it in half. So that's all we're going to do, lengthwise. So just match up those corners, right, and use your bone folder to fold that in half. You could even use cereal box for this. It would work. Both sides of the cereal box. Okay, so there we go. This now will go into the center of the thing, but we've got just a few bits to measure. Now, Debbie made me go and look for something, which is this envelope punch board by We Are Memory Keepers. This was cream, but I've had it for so long, it's gone yellow. And it made me go and look for it. I found it eventually, so here we go. And this is how simple this is. Now, if you don't have this, it's not the end of the world. You know, you can just draw yourself a template on a piece of card with an angle and use that as well. All right, so you don't have to have this. Right, what I want you to do is take the first side, the top bit, put it into your envelope punch board up until slide it in till you line it up with the 2-inch mark here, the number 2. All right, and you're just going to press that down. Okay, flip it over and do exactly the same there. All right, and then do that as well on the other side. So we're just doing 2, lining it up to the 2. All right, yeah, so you've got this now. Each end was lined up by the 2. You can put that to the side for the moment. All right, so this is what I was saying. If you don't have this, just draw yourself a little strip of paper, draw an angle which is about 45 degrees. Okay, it doesn't matter as long as they're the same on every side. And then I'll just tell you where the 2 and yeah, the middle of that will be 2 inches. Okay, and then you can just put it on each side, draw it on your paper, and have the same thing, cut it out with scissors. Okay, now what I want you to do is, this is the front one, so let's keep it closed. I want to just take my pencil and my little ruler, and I'm going to go to the bottom of this here and there and draw a line in the middle. I'm going like this because that's the bit we're going to cut out there. Okay, now I want you to open it up, match up your ruler again with the top and the bottom. Okay, and I don't want you to cut the middle out. I want you to cut these bits, end tabs out. All right, so that one and that one. And for me, I'm going to just do it ever so quickly with my little knife. All right, so it's that bit I want to cut off and that bit I want to cut off, like that. And on this one, it's the middle bit you are going to be cutting off. All right, and that's how simple that is. You now have your little file folder there with the tab there and those there. Yeah, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Right, I've done that, and now, and just because I'm going to put that to the side quickly, because I have actually lined everything up with the papers that I've cut, so I don't want to waste time doing every single piece of paper. Now what I did next was I've taken a full sheet of paper. Okay, it was like that, and I have done a similar thing with the envelope board. Now you can see with this, if I open it up, that this is slightly narrower than this here. Now what I did was I measured the piece of paper to be slightly smaller, so you'll be talking about a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the width of your paper, and on each side there. All right, but don't cut it down. What you need to do is put your piece of paper in to the, for this top one, it's the 7/8 mark. All right, so it's this one over here. Okay. And then you do the same thing, line it up to the 7/8 mark, press, flip it over, 7/8 mark, press, okay, and then cut out the middle bit again. Okay, and that's going to give you the piece to go in there. Right, and then you want to take this exact piece, and you want to yeah, it is that one. You want to cut out, you can, I just stuck it on there and put my pencil around it, yeah, and cut one, but with wrong sides together, all right, so that the right side is on there. And I've lined it with this piece of paper, okay, and that's going to go into this piece here. All right, hope you're with me on this. Right, now with this one here, I have gone with the same paper at the back. Remember how we did that? So you're going to, instead of doing the 7/8 of an inch for this side, we did the 7/8 for the front bit. You're going to go, I went in between the 7/8 and the 2 inches. All right, in between the two there. You might need to just check it out, so that when you cut it out, you've got the same there. And again, you're going to cut the tabs off, not the middle bit. All right. So this one is 7/8. You're going to line this piece of paper up. This one is just in between the 2 inches and the 7/8. All right. And then again, match those two up, wrong sides together, so that you've got one as a lining piece on the inside. All right. So now all we want to do is we want to stick these down. Yeah. So I'm going to just make sure I've got this the right way. All right. So, and I'm going to pull these out, so I've got them in the order that I need to put them in. And then I'm going to just, you can use your glue stick. Let's take that out the way. I'm finished with that, or whatever it is. So for me, I just had a double piece of paper here, so don't look at that. Get the glue as close as you can to the edge. Yeah, I'll just show you one and then I'll speed up the rest. Like that. You could stitch it on, but I'm not doing that. I get it close to the edge, as I said. And then get glue all over that. Alright, and then we're going to turn it around and then sort of line it where it should be when you're happy, and I'm pretty much sure that's it for me. Okay, and then press that down. Alright, so now go around and stick the other 3 on in exactly the same format. Okay, before I go any further, I've suddenly realized that I want to put on a magnet. Okay, so before I stick this down, you don't have to use a magnet, guys. You can use the Velcro dots. I did bring them as well. All right, so you wouldn't do that at this point if you're not using a magnet. But before I stick this down, I want to just get the sort of halfway mark for this magnet, which is going to go there. Now, I'm not good with magnets. Yeah, that is right. Yeah, about there. So I'm going to just take my, and you can just use tape. You don't have to use glue. Depends on the magnet you're using. This is a pretty big one, but I'm no good with the small ones. I'm just going to get this on here. I got this from Amazon. I had them for my fabric pouches that I like to do as well for gifts. So I want to just get that stuck on there like that. All right. And then we can just carry on. I'm going to just put a bit more glue on this. And then we're going to add this one on. So again, just line it up where you think it needs to be. And before you press it down, just make sure all the bits are as you want them. And I think that's about it. I did cut this slightly shorter, but that's I did on all of them. So, you know, just be mindful of that. Right, so there we go. Is this, and get that on there just so I can close. Right, so we can carry on. Okay, there's that one. And then the last one is the one for the back. Okay, and then here. All right, so we've got all of that done. That can come off. There we go. Let's get that. A little bit of a pleat here. There we go. That'll be okay. So that's your front and that's your back. All right. Now, what I've got here is a piece of paper. It's got the paws on. I measured this 3.5 inches across that way. Yeah, is that right? Yeah, 3.5 inches by 5 3/4 inches. All right, or 9 by 14.7. And I have just an inch in on that side and that side, so that this bit in the middle is 1.5 inches. All right, I've just scored along those lines. And all I want to do is I want to stick these down, but we've also got to put in our magnet for the other side. Now, just to make sure that goes that way, so that means this needs to go that way as far as I see. Yeah, okay, so I'm going to get the magnet. Hopefully this is going to hold it down at the one end here. Yeah, as close to the top as I can. And now I'm going to get this all stuck on down. All right, we're going to make like a little closure with this. All right, so let's hope it works. And then this side as well. Yeah. Just want to put a bit more glue. I want to just I I should really have moved that up a bit. I don't think I can now. Oh, I can. There we go. Right, so let's just get some glue on the end there. And again, I'm going to just use this little bit to hold it down. Okay, so that will be the right side, I hope. Will it? Just checking. Yes. Okay, let's just clip the end there. Right, so you've got that bit there. Right, I've changed glue because the other one's very bitty and it needs, obviously, I don't know what's going on with that. Right, so what I'm going to get to finishing that off, but I want to just see how much of this I need to use. So let's get that on to our bit there, and then we want to turn that over. That is where we want to score. But yeah, I think I'm quite happy with that. I don't know how much of that I want to stick on really, or if I want to put something else on there. I think that's all right. You can stitch around it if you want. I'm quite happy with that. Perhaps, yeah, that's going to go like that, and then I am going to stick that down. Now you can go and put something else on here if you want, but I'm not going to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put some glue. Oh no, that one's not working very well. You could make it shorter as well if you so choose, you know. So let's just go most of the way down and get that stuck on. And then hopefully we can keep it pretty straight. That looks about right. Yeah, easily done. Okay, we can open that. I'm not finished with this. I just want to make sure I've got that pretty straight on the underside. Okay. I feel like I want to put something here. I'm not sure what. You can, you know, these came from my mini journal. These little goodies, cats and dogs and whatever. You can always put on one of those, or we can also put on a fussy cut, whichever one you like. I think that sort of just finishes it for me. You know, cats. That's a cute one actually. But I think it's too big. I think I'm going to go with that actually. I think that looks right. And if you want, you can put on one of these as well. That also came from my mini journal. Okay, that wasn't part of the plan, but you know, there's nothing wrong with those. So maybe this side. No, this side. Yeah. Coolio. Let's do this. And then the cat one, dogs ones, whatever, or just general pet ones in that mini journal, or any of the fussy cuts that you want. So I think it just sort of gives it a finished look. So we'll do that. Let's get that on there like that. And then we can get on this little flower. I love a flourish of floral flourishes. Floral bouquets. Right, so let's see now. We're gonna, don't want to get the wording. So there we go. I like that better. It looks more finished. Right, and then while this is open, I am going to just take this and use my corner rounder. So I'm going to go with a 7mm one. And just round the corners of this buckly thing. Buckle. There we go. That looks better, doesn't it? And as I say, you can put more glue on it if you want. But I don't want to do too much. You know. And then while that's doing its thing, I'm going to just go like this around the corners. Okay, so there's that side of things. I quite like that. Now what I want to do is, let's just put that on there. Okay, so on this side, I have gathered a couple of goodies here. All right, so I have got a piece of paper here. I've added a little bit on here, so I'm going to give you the full measurement. This is 3.5 inches. Okay, so again, we're looking at about 9 centimeters, I think. Yeah, 8.5. And then the length of your paper. All right, so I've just folded over the half there, 1/2 inch. I keep taking the wrong glue. And that's just to reinforce this edge. That's all. Right, so I'm going to use this paper for this edge, and then I've taken a strip which is just 1/2 inch wide, the length of this. I'm making like my faux washi paper strip decoration here. I find this, because I'm trying to keep this as flat as possible, I'm not going to put any lace or anything on this. Right, so I'm going to go just there because I quite fancy seeing the fish. All right. It's just a little bit long, so we easily cut that off. Okay, and then I've just got the little kitty here in his basket going to the vet. Oh God, don't I hate the vet. I need to take Abby because she needs her claws clipped, and she's a bit of a, well, not a bit, a big drama queen when it comes to claw clipping. If I say, I'm even saying it, the ears are going up. She hates it. I've even tried hanging her in a shopping bag with 4 holes in, you know, all sorts, bribing her with all sorts of treats. She's not having it. And the trauma that she goes through, never mind me, I just take her to the vet. Right, I've got the little kitty bowl there. So that's the one. Okay, that one's going to end up going there. And then I've got one for the dogs. So I've just reversed this. I've cut this piece out in that paper. And you can see I've used an old page, which is what you must do when you are printing. All my nice paper goes to my printed kits. I get all the reject paper. Yeah, that's the way it goes. You wouldn't know when it's all stuck down. And then I've got this strip that I've done the same, so we're going to use that there. I hope you guys are planning a great weekend with lots of relaxation. I'm listening to a great book at the moment, and I've been listening to it all morning. I'm trying to think what it's called now. I'm useless, aren't I? But yeah, really enlightening. I like uplifting books. Right, so we've got that there, and then I'm going to use the dog kennel with a little soul with big eyes, because, you know, his mom's taking him to the vet. And he's hiding. Or the other thing is, she's looking for him to have a wash, a bath, because my dog one doesn't like it either. She likes how she feels when she's bathed, gets all sprightly and happy looking, but if you say the word, she's gone. Yeah, she doesn't have a kennel outside because she's spoilt and sleeps on my bed. But, you know, hence why she needs a bath. They've got the little treat fussy cut here. And bribery and corruption is big, even for dogs. Right, so we've got that there. Right, so now all I want to do is get some glue along the edges of the 3 sides, not the side where you folded over the bit. So we'll just get that glue on there. See, I've got a bit that's a bit long, so I just want to cut that off. Right, so let's turn that around and get that down there. Like that, and you can just match it up with the paper below. I mean, if you're wanting to save paper, you don't need to make this all the way down, but it was with 1 sheet of paper that I did that, so I'm quite happy with how that's come out. Right, so you've got your pocket there. And then we're going to do exactly the same with this one. And just move that to the side, and I'm going to get it this way. Right. So that's the inside done. And then it's just this little front bit I want to put on something. So again, I've taken this bit here. This is just 3.5 inches wide, and I think 3.5 inches again, 3.25. It was just the piece that I had. So I've just, again, going to just go like this here. Get that folded over. Okay, let's just move that across for a moment. The magnet's sticking on everything. Then I've got this from my Fussy Cuts in the ephemera pack. And then again, I'm using a strip of this, which is just a scrappy bit that I had. I think it's also about 1/2 inch. And I'm going to just get that a little bit there, like that. Is that straightish? Pretty much. Okay, and then A Dog's Life. There's also the cat version, if that's what you would prefer. So let's get that on just over there, like that. Now this particular pouch would make a great storage place for photographs. It would also be great if you've got any, you know, if you get breeders certificates for your dogs. Some people have that. Or if you've got the vet card or the vet details of, you know, when they've gone, I nearly said it's not a service, but, you know, when they've gone for their annual checkups, injections, and all that sort of stuff that they have to have. They do here. So, yeah, you know, all that sort of stuff. Or any other stuff that you might want to write a letter to your pet, you know, especially when they're not there, about your feelings. Don't forget the tissue when you read the poem. Right, so I've got the little paws on there, cat and a dog. There we go. So we're going to stick that onto the front, just over here. All right. Remember your magnets up there. Okay, so let's just get this on there. And then I'm going to get it just here. Oops, hopefully that's straight-ish. All right, there we go. That wasn't too hard, was it? All right, so now when we open that up, we can, I'm just going to put these both in here, but you can put whatever you have in here. All right, so I've got this one that can go in here. All right. And then I've got this one that can go in here. So you don't have to have both of these, or you don't have to have any of them. It's up to you. I've just put these in here. You could use the smaller ones and stick in photographs, as I said. All right, so that's there. That's going to close like that. I want to just get this one in a bit more. Let's just put one in. One's enough. And then I can put in other goodies there. All right, so you got your closure. And then on the front I have got these two that I'm going to put in here. So I've got this because it's a person and their pet. All right, and then I just thought the Paws one would look really cute in there as well. And there we have it. So you can decide which one of these you want to use, or both, or whatever. If you're going to use both, perhaps I printed this with the border, perhaps printed borderless with the border. Sorry, I did the other way around. It's slightly smaller if you don't print it borderless. And then we are going to put this into our journal in the middle of the signatures, as I said. How cute is that? Yeah, look at that. I like it. And you've got your little magnet here, or your other closure, and as I said, you can put your other, if these were photographs or whatever, they would fit in here really nicely as well. All right. Or postcards or whatever it is, that all the other paperwork really for in here. Anything you want to keep. So that's what that's about. Right, did you enjoy that? I hope you have, and I hope you enjoy the poem. Go and grab your freebie over on my website. Don't forget, I've got some goodies still on sale. All the digitals are on sale, and lots of bundles on sale that I'm having a clear out. If you haven't picked those up, go and grab them. And yeah, let me know what you think of this little project. Great one for any theme really. It doesn't have to be for pets. And yeah, I look forward to seeing your ones in the Facebook group. Okay, everyone, have a great weekend, and I'll see you all very soon.